People from Baltimore may have heard of a restaurant called Rocket to Venus. What they might not know is that it is based off of three men who decided to, build a rocket to Venus. These men were Robert Condit and the Uhler brothers, Harry and Sterling Uhler. In 1969, Harry Uhler wrote a newspaper article telling his story, and this is what he had to say. Three amateur scientists, my brother Sterling, Robert Condit, and I fired a rocket on an August day in Baltimore in 1928. We weren't kids. I was in my early 30s and married, making $50 a week as a carpenter. The youngest member of the trio was Robert Condit, not long out of poly, and he was a mathematical wizard. Our feelings were typical of the times. Only the year before, Charles A. Lindbergh had flown across the Atlantic. Like all other Americans, we were as proud of him then as we are today of the astronauts who walked on the moon. If a man like Lindbergh had the courage to lead the way at the risk of his life, we thought other men should have the courage to follow. We knew where we wanted to go: Venus. Mars was too far, and we figured the moon was a burnt-out planet and not worth seeing. People came from all over town to see our ship, which we kept hanging from the garage roof, and to see us. Practically everyone thought we were crazy. My wife did too. Wherever we went, people would recognize us, yell swoosh, and point to the sky. It took us 8 months to build the ship, and there were details that could have stood improvement, but we didn't want to wait any longer. I never saw so much fire in my life. Big blooms of red flames boiled out around the spacecraft, and big clouds of black smoke rolled up into the sky. Traffic couldn't get by because of the fire. Pretty soon we had quite a few spectators. That test firing showed us we couldn't get a ship into space without helping it along with the booster rocket, and we estimated that would cost another $10,000 at least, so we gave it up. Our wives were against the whole deal anyway. Condit came back in a few weeks, loaded the rocket on a truck, and hauled it off to Florida. I never saw him again, but I expected he did real well for himself somewhere. He was a mathematical genius.